Hello again, music fans. I am back here for another one of these ranking of the albums video. This time for, the seminal band, a lot of people's favorite band, Iron Maiden. If it's not your favorite band, it's probably in the top five of every metalhead. And every metalhead, of course, should have a good portion, if not all, of Iron Maiden's discography. So it really took me a long time to make this ranking, longer than the one I did for Sabbath. For Black Sabbath, for Kiss, for Metallica, because I love all the albums. Let's just say it, and so I made the list. I remade it. I made it again, and even as I was writing it down for the last time, I did a few alterations. But let's get to it. The first one I only have on cassette, and right now I can't find it. I can't seem to find it, but I'm going to put a picture of it over here. We'll go from the least to the number one, of course, and not including the compilations and live albums. All right, so no Live After Death or anything like that. Okay, so coming in at the bottom spot is No Prayer for the Dying, which I only have on cassette. I'll put a picture over here, and this one was from the Bruce Dickinson era, and I believe it was the last one. Or the second to last. Was it first? Was the last one Fear of the Dark? Can't remember. But anyway, the songs are a bit lackluster. Nothing really memorable there. Songs like Tail Gunner seem to want to recapture the spirit of Aces High and things like that. So it really didn't grab me, that one. The next one is the other one I just mentioned, which is Fear of the Dark. Though that I do know has the mega hit Fear of the Dark. The rest of the album also is kind of by the numbers. I think Bruce Dickinson was kind of, who was a co-writer of many of Maiden albums and Maiden hits. I think he was getting a little tired, and which reason why he left the band at the time. Okay, Fear of the Dark, of course, I do have it. Let's. Here it is, okay. So I believe it is the only one that I have that has the title right there on the side. Fear the Dark. Then we go with the Final Frontier, okay. And this is the one that comes in this kind of like a tin. Right, and the only thing special about it is that it has access to bonus content, and I believe a music video here. Though this is a good album, right? And like for instance, When the Wind Blows is an incredible song. All right, and there's a lot of good stuff here, but not as good as some of the stuff that I'm going to show later on here. So we have Final Frontier here at number 14, is it? And then we go with Dance of Death. This one with that absolutely horrible cover. Every time I look at this cover, I cringe. All right. The album itself is pretty good. Wildest Dreams, A Passchendaele. Curiously enough, it has here a song called New Frontier. Not Final Frontier, but New Frontier. Okay, Journeyman, a very good song. Oh, but that cover. Dance of Death. Then we go with, you're going to be surprised that I put these, perhaps not on the bottom, because a lot of people would put these two albums on the bottom of the Iron Maiden's discography. Next we have The X Factor with Blaze Bayley. All right. While doing this ranking, I went back and listened to all of the 8 Maiden albums. Just gave them all a fresh listen, several times in some cases. And the Blaze Bayley albums really hold up. Okay, is he Bruce Dickinson? No, he's not. He's his own person. He's his own singer, and he is a great singer. The X Factor coming in, and after that one is the only one that I do not have in the Maiden discography, which is Virtual 11. I'm going to put it right here. And even though I don't have it, I did listen to it several times streaming, you know, to get a feel for it again. And when this album first came out, and I heard "The Angel and the Gambler," I didn't like that song. It's incredibly repetitive, even though it is a good song. I think that's the kind of like the flaw of this album. It just goes on a little bit too long with the choruses, you know. But other than that, I believe it's a really punchy album, different, you know, but a lot of great songs. I really enjoy listening to it. Virtual 11. I'm gonna get a copy as soon as I can. In fact, when I look online for copies here in Mexico, they are quite expensive, you know, for that particular album. Okay, let's go with the next one, which would be, we just said Virtual 11, and now we have one of the ones that I have on vinyl, which is Somewhere in Time. All right, so a good album, but I think here the loneliness of the long distance runner, Heaven Can Wait, Sea of Madness, Wasted Years, of course, fantastic song. Okay, production is a bit thin on this one. I don't know if it's my vinyl copy here. This is my Mexican pressing, which was done by EMI Mexico here. Cover is also a bit cheesy. Okay, let's go with the next one up the list, which would be a really underrated album, A Matter of Life and Death. You know, the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg is a great, great song. Right there. Brighter Than a Thousand Lights, a very kind of a dark and somber album, but very good. Okay, A Matter of Life and Death. Kind of, like I said, I gave it another listen. Very underrated, this one. Moving up the list, we now go with a couple that you might find surprising that I have them right here in the middle of the list. You know, when a lot of people would put them at the top, which would be the two Paul Di'Anno records, starting with Iron Maiden here, first and self-titled. Very raw sounding, as all of you know. Paul Di'Anno's vocals were not anything great, but they did fit the music of the time. Okay. And excuse me, this was not Iron Maiden self-titled. This is Killers. I was talking about this one here. Okay. But still, I put, let's see. Yes, I put this one first, meaning below this one. So this one, with Killers, I enjoyed a bit more. We now go with their latest album as of the making of this video, which is Book of Souls. This is a fantastic album. You know, very long. It's a 2 CD set, 2 CD live album. Studio album, 2 CD studio album. And this is where Iron Maiden completely embraces them being a progressive metal band. All right. So this is a very much a prog metal right here. And it's fantastic. Really good. Love that cover also. This is the special edition with comes here in this slipcase. All right. Love that album. We now continue with another one I have on vinyl, and this is I think this is the only one. Yes, it is the only one that I have on reissued vinyl, which is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Right there. I understand this is a concept album, and it is based on a novel by Orson Scott Card, which I have, but I have not yet read. Okay. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Whole bunch of really good stuff here. The Prophecy, The Clairvoyant, you know, The Evil That Men Do, Moonchild, Infinite Dreams, the title track. Great stuff right here from Maiden. And now with Bruce Dickinson's comeback, we go here with Brave New World. Just from beginning to end, this album is just stellar. The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, title track, you know, Out of Silent Planet. The list goes on and on. Great listen, and a great comeback for Bruce. Let's see here my list. Of course, we are going now back into the top 3, which should be of no surprise to no one. You know, here we go at number 3. We have a Peace of Mind. Just a stellar album. I have this one on CD as well. This is the one that I've had ever since the 80s. You know, Where Eagles Dare, Revelations, Flight of Icarus, the entire album. A Doom inspired To Tame a Land. The Trooper. What can you say? That has not already been said. Especially, and we now continue with number 2 on my list, which is Powerslave. Okay, I mean, if it only had the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, this would be a great album. You know, if it just had, if it was just an EP with 2 Minutes to Midnight and Rime of the Ancient Mariner, you know, this would still be a classic. But the rest of the album is great. You know, underrated songs here. Deep tracks were Flash of the Blade and The Duelists. Great songs. Back in the Village, of course, the title track. Great cover too. And of course, no one, to surprise of no one, the number 1 would be one of the top metal albums of all time, which is Number of the Beast. We all know this one, front to back. Okay? So, you know, the Bruce Dickinson introduction into the band, and what an album. There you go. My number 1 fave here for Iron Maiden, though, like I said, as I listen to them, the list changes. And do yourself a favor and just give a fresh listen to those 2 Blaze Bayley albums, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Okay? Well, that is my ranking of the Iron Maiden albums. Thank you very much for watching, and so long.